Hello, everybody, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us again today. As I said yesterday during the webinar, our apologies, technical things happened yesterday, like nobody's business. You know, our networks is just up and down due to lockdown, so almost everybody is online. But regardless of that, we managed to make things work. And with all of the emails that you have been sending to us and the SMSs and the WhatsApp, that we need that lady back. We need that lady back. There we go. We managed again to go and hook her up. And then there she is. We do have her again. May you please help me to welcome Miss Nyaradi Gumbomberi. She is the founder of the Ngoho Accounting and Business Consulting. She is an accounting, a business accounting in practice. She is a SaaS practitioner in practice, yeah, and she's also a business mentor and a coach. Welcome, Miss Munya. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. Finally, we are here. Finally, we are here.
We made it, eh? We made it.
Technology happened.
Yeah. It's some of those things.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So just for us now to kickstart and jumpstart straight into our talk for today. On the previous webinar, remember we promised people that you will going to talk about the cash flow. What's the importance of cash flow? Why should we have cash flow? And what is cash flow actually? You know. So all of our audience that are out there, they really need to know what's cash flow and how can they handle money as SMEs. Can you please explain to us, as an accountant, we have got over 8 years of experience. So what is it exactly? And where are we doing wrong? What buttons are we pressing wrong? Yeah.
Okay, Munya, thank you for that question. You're going to give me some time to explain this because actually cash flow management is the most critical item, actually I can say critical thing that someone needs to pay attention into if someone is running a business. Because when we're talking about cash flow, we're talking about the money that is coming in the business, the money that is going in the business, out of the business, and also the money that is left in the business for its continuous growth. So it's one of those areas that I've seen that is leading to a failure in businesses. If cash flow is not properly managed, it means the company does not have money to continue its operations. It means the business is not also growing because there's no money to put back into the growth of the business. So that is why I really need some time to talk about this, and so that I can help some people to understand this concept and also try to start practicing so that the businesses can grow. What I would want to talk mostly about, I think I have two areas which I've realized are the most areas that needs improvement. From all the companies, all the clients that I've taken on, which I do accounting for, and also the other people that I just coach in terms of finances, I've realized that there's two problematic areas. And once we resolve those, it will be able to manage our cash flows. The major one is where people cannot separate personal and business. That's the most critical one. This one needs a lot of attention. So many people, because the businesses are small and also because they are the sole directors, they feel that whatever they do in the business, it doesn't matter who takes money for what at any given time. So people end up withdrawing money from the business at any given time for their own personal use. This is what is hampering businesses a lot, because we need to know the separation between a person and the business. Yes, you own the business, but you are not the business. So the business needs to have its own affairs which are separate from you as an individual. So in this case, what I suggest people should always know that the money that is in the business account is for the business. If they want money for themselves, they need to remunerate themselves. They need to give them a salary. They need to give themselves a salary, so that every month they give themselves a salary. And when they have used their salary, it means they've used their personal money. If they are going to take money again from the business, now it becomes a loan. because you are taking money which doesn't belong to you, because the money for the business is for the growth of the business, not for you to take for personal use at any given time. So that is the first one I wanted to clarify. Munya, you're still with me?
I am still with you. I am listening. So I just muted myself so that when you are talking, I don't interrupt. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the first one I wanted to clarify about, that the only ways you can take money from the business is as a salary, and you peg your salary according to what the business can afford. If your business is too small, you can still pay yourself even 5,000. As the business grows, you pay yourself 10,000. As the business grows, until you can pay whatever amount you have in mind that you want, but you cannot take more than enough from the business and make the business suffer. Because the moment you take a lot of money from the business, it means you cannot have money now to purchase materials. You don't have money to take on new jobs. You don't have money for your monthly, month-to-month expenses like your telephone, your internet, for you to do the work. So yes, you need to differentiate the personal and the business.
Yeah, let me just ask you something there, right? So right now I'm running this business that is too small. I'm just doing hand to mouth. So what can I do if it is that way, in that matter? Because I am doing hand to mouth, right? And I still need money. And you are now telling me that the business still need to have its own money, and I still need to draw a salary there and this and that. So how can I deal with such a situation? What can I do in such a situation? Was it's still hand to mouth? I just started my business, or I started my business with big expensive, with quite a lot of expenses, right? That I need to cover, and I'm not working anywhere. So that business, it's where I'm feeding from. It's what is coming to me. That's where my everything is in that business. So what must I do?
Yeah. Okay, now I'm putting on my head of an entrepreneur coach. With businesses are small or big or medium, when you're looking at the business, the concept that works for a small business is the same concept that works for medium, that works for a big business. The moment you start your business to say, I want to do a business, it means you still need that same discipline to say, you know what, this is the amount of money I'm getting, but still I cannot chow my capital. You know, there's money that we say, this is my capital. I still need to go and order some more stuff. Maybe you're selling tomatoes. You still need to go and order some more tomatoes, and then maybe you get your profit. Maybe that's the one you can take you as your profit and you eat it. And you set it to say, how much profit, how much of the profit do I need to take out of the business, and how much do I need to put back? Let's say you get 50% profit. Maybe you can say you take 20%, you take 30%, you put it back the business. This helps you to grow. If you get to the same level where you say whatever you get, you are using it. Whatever you get, you are using it. It means you are not growing. Because the reason why we do businesses is for growth. So when you want to grow, you need to have also the financial discipline. That is what is required. To say, well, no matter how much I have, no matter how much my needs are, I need to discipline myself. To say, I will touch this and I cannot touch this, because I need to plow it back in the business. Because even if you start with a business with a 500 Rand capital, what it means, you're gonna buy for 500 worth of whatever material or whatever products. The next time, maybe your profit, if it's 100%, it means you have 1,000 Rand. Then you know, you say 200, I'm gonna use it, but I put back the 300, meaning it's now 800. I'm gonna buy more stock like that, and you grow. But the moment you just say, I'm feeding hand to mouth and I'm taking whatever I get, I take it, I eat it, then you don't grow. So it's the same concept.
Yeah, thank you so much, because you know I really wanted you to also clarify this issue of hand to mouth, that there's nothing called hand to mouth, right? It's hand bank, it's hand company mouth, right? Yeah, so it comes from, yes, you are still hustling, not for yourself but for the business. So the business is now gonna need to is now gonna need to pay you as well. Wow. Thank you so much for actually clarifying that. So so how can we balance now our finances? So how can we balance all those income, expense, how can we now balance all those things as entrepreneurs?
Okay, yes, in your business, like I had said in the previous webinar, for those who were with me in the previous webinar, when you start your business, there are certain expenses also you need to incur, because you need someone to guide you. You need an accountant, someone who's qualified in finance to guide you. It doesn't necessarily mean you are a hustler or whatever, or it's not a registered business, because the fact that we're doing this business is to grow it, maybe to become a registered business, to become a big business, but you need someone to just sit down with you to explain these terms to you, what it means, so that when you know, you'll be able to know how you're going to run your business, how you're going to keep your records, even if you don't need an accountant at this time. But if you are a business that is registered, definitely you need a bookkeeper, or you need an accountant who does the bookkeeping for you, the work for you, and give you reports that you can see where you are going, where you are coming from. So yes, I'm saying you need someone to coach you. You can just, it can be once off just to be taught how to do your things, or it can be continuous coaching. But if you are a running business, definitely you need a bookkeeper, you need an accountant, because remember, there's compliance issues involved. SARS wants their returns to be done, and they should be done correctly. And also, apart from that question you asked me, I was still gonna talk about the cash flow as well. I've highlighted the first one, which is separation of business and personal. Another thing why people have got cash flow problems is that they take business money into other accounts. Like you are running a business, you have a business bank account. Instead of putting everything into your business bank account so that you can be able to see properly the position of your business, people put in their personal account, they do work, and the money is put in the personal account. So that money is not accounted for. And at the end of the day, the owner uses it willy-nilly. So it's no longer treated as a business money. So also that affects your cash flow, because if that money comes into your business bank account, you are able to plan it, all of it. Let's say maybe you have received 100,000 in your business bank account, but you have another 10,000 which has gone to your personal. It means that 10,000 is no longer part of the business, because we are not going to put it back in. Meaning your position was supposed to be 110,000 of income, and then you plan it properly together. But now you are not going to plan it properly together, and at the end of the day, you find that now the business has got cash flow problems. Not necessarily that the business has no money, but because the way the money is put together is not correct. Money is being put into other accounts, or it's received as cash, and that cash is not even deposited in the business bank account. So it affects your cash flow. Definitely it does, because you are not planning this money together. What we need to do is to put everything that belongs to the business into the business bank account. You plan from there. If you need to give yourself more salary, you give yourself more salary. If you need to do whatever, but the money should be all there together. So your cash flow is also well managed.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for actually bringing that up, because you know a lot of people, they say no, no, just give me cash, and then once you got that cash, mind you, there is no way that you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna deposit this money in the bank account, in the business account, and then I'll tell you. So sometimes you just say, okay, okay, it's fine. Let me just now do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but let me just now buy this and that. After all, it's part of the business. After all, it's part of me. It's part of me. It's part of me. You know. So that's very, very true. Like what you are, and also all of your online system platforms, let them all be linked to that bank account as well, so that whatever money comes from that side, whatever money comes, they all go into one that into that account. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, for bringing that up as well.
Yes, it also even relates to your business expenses. There are some people who just pay business expenses from their personal account or from wherever without now recording these expenses in the business account. So it is also very mandatory that everything that relates to your business, whether it's the income, whether it's the expense, everything should be done from your business bank account. Everything should be lying in there so that when we do the reports finally, it's the correct position. And when we advise you on how your business is doing, it's the correct advice. Because I can tell you say, no, your business is not doing well, it's making losses, but it's not necessarily it's making losses, but because you are putting money somewhere else, you are getting cash or you are getting your personal account. So my advice would be wrong.
You do have got an account in US that'll just stay there, of which is still business money.
Yeah, so those are the two critical areas. If we manage to do those ones, to separate personal and business, and also make sure the business money comes into the business and the business expenses are done from the business account, then our cash flow management will start to take shape. That's the most critical. Then there are also other things where we can improve our cash flows, like avoiding unnecessary expenditure. I've seen with small businesses usually, because mostly my clients are small, medium business owners. What they do is they just take money, they want to go and upgrade their car already before even the business has grown. Or they want to buy new furniture, they want to buy new things all everywhere with that first payment. That's really hampers and that really affects the cash flow of the business, because such expenses are not really necessary when you start your business. It's when now you've made some cash flow, you can see now you need to do those things. That's when you can think of doing those. So there are some unnecessary expenditures which can make our cash flows so affected, and which can even make the businesses fail because there's no money, but we have bought things that we really don't need.
And also, and some of those things as well, I can say the likes of what did I say? Of bank charges as well. You can actually lower your bank charges with how you do all of your transactions, right? Like at some time I've been trapped in a pay and clear system, right? I just do pay and clear, immediate payment, instantly every time I need to pay to make a payment. And then guess what was happening? My expenses grew from paying 350 Rand a month to paying 1,200, 1,300, 1,500. And then one day I called them and said, oh, what's happening? They said, no, look at how you are doing. Sometimes you do immediate payment, sometimes you do ATM withdrawal at any ATM that you feel like, right? It also adds there. So, and I'm telling you, just giving the bank 1,000 Rand that you just give them for the sake of giving them, it's better than to charge on the airtime on whatsoever. Not of the bank charges, not of the monthly charges, right? And because that money, they don't take it 1 Rand, they take it as 1,000 as is, right? Yeah. So it's actually also another way that we need also to prevent.
Yes. Actually, every cent counts in business. That's what I always say. We are accountants. Money is something to us. Every cent counts in the business. Whether it's 1 Rand, that 1 Rand 30 times is 30 Rand. To us, it's quite a lot of money. So there are certain expenditures which we do at small businesses which hamper our cash flow. Like what you have been saying, even email notifications, all those notifications, they charge you and they are not really necessary. You can send someone a proof of payment if they really need a proof of payment. So it's for a business owner to check, where am I doing unnecessary expenditure? Even that thing you were talking about for bank charges, you need to withdraw from an ATM. If you really need to withdraw from that money from a different ATM, that's when you can do it. But you need to just give yourself the discipline to say, this is how I operate. I cannot incur unnecessary expenses because it hampers my cash flow. Also, another thing that I've seen is a problem is over-investing in business. Over-investing in business can also cause a lot of problems. For example, for people, let's say you are you do gates, let's say gates, electric gates or whatever. If you go on and buy a lot of steel and put it in your room or in your house, speculating sales, it means what you have done is you have tied your money in that thing, in that material. So you don't need to over-invest. Even when you are ordering stuff or stock or whatever, don't order stock that you really don't need, because it is tying up your money. The next moment you don't have money anymore. Maybe it's a different service that you need to offer now. You cannot take from the steel you have bought already. So you don't have the money to do a project because you've over-invested in materials or in whatever. So it's also another area where we need to be very clear about not to over-invest in materials or in any stock or whatever. You need to take it as you go. Yes, you can budget and say, okay, I'm speculating this, but it should not be too much.
Yes, yeah. And also on the over-investing as well, it doesn't just operate only on the business as well. You know, there are some other stuff that you can live without, right? You know, I've been thinking of, by the time I was busy investing in these systems and whatsoever, you know, there's other things that I say, okay, but this system, I think this one might do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this. Yeah, I might need that one, but it seems like it says that they are also similar to this. So you need also to cut down all of the expenses and also cut down also in investing. Yes, thank you so much for also bringing that one as well. That's a very powerful point. But as entrepreneurs, sometimes we see these salespeople that come to us and they'll be sweet-tonguing us, right? And you end up saying, okay, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. You see all those emails and you end up grabbing things. Before you know it, you are now under $500 in debt, or $500 that you need to pay each and every month. And how much is coming?
Yeah. Okay, that is another point I wanted to discuss about. Also, another thing: don't borrow in speculation. Don't borrow in speculation. You know, there are people who just go and get a loan. They have an idea and all that. The idea is still have not matured. There's no contracts. There's nothing that is there. They go on and take a loan, and now they speculate that they're gonna grow so fast and all that. It's also another thing that can really affect the business. Even the take up of the business, the take off can really be affected. It is very wise not to take debt when you start your business. Do with what you can do with. Take your growth one day at a time. When you need more money, if you really need to borrow, yes, there's a contract, there's a tender signed and all that, and you need the capital, you can borrow. But most of the people, what I've seen, they just go on to borrow without something really clear in the picture. Remember, when you have a loan, you need to pay that loan, you need to pay the interest, you need to pay, and you don't have the money, the business is not generating any income. So my advice is that grow with your business. When your growth is the one that should lead you to spend, to say, okay, I need to borrow now because I can afford to be paying my loan and my interest on top as well. Because debt is very expensive because there is interest involved. And if you just borrow without any income coming from that borrowing, it means your cash flow is really, really affected. Even if you had money, it will start with your business. On top of that loan that you have taken, it's now a fixed thing that you need to pay. It's fixed because you need to pay it every month. But at the same time, you are not generating the income that is warranting that debt. So it's also another important thing to note that you do not borrow in anticipation, or you do not over borrow just for speculation. You have to do things bit by bit as you go.
Wow. Then also sometimes you see that entrepreneurs who actually borrow that money and think that it's their money, you know. So they'll borrow the money from the bank, right? Let's say it's 1 million and put it in their account, and they'll think that it's still their money and they'll use it as they wish. I'm telling you, because they still see numbers in their bank account, they still see money in there, and they'll end up using it on buying cars, on buying things that are not even necessary. You know, wow.
That is even actually very dangerous, because the moment you borrow for the sake of business, it should be used for business. The moment you borrow you say you are borrowing it for growing my business and you use it as personal money, then it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
This is the point that we started with, to say we need that separation. Because remember, when it's personal money, I don't budget it. Most of the people, they don't budget. They will just say, okay, to friends, let's go and have a drink. Let's go and do this. Let's go and do this. Because it's your personal money. But if it's in business, there is that conscious mind saying, hey, but I need this money for the business. So definitely when you borrow and you say it's for my business, please don't borrow it and put it in your personal bank account, because it's not gonna get anything from there. You are just gonna drown in debt. But when you borrow it at the same time, know that what you are borrowing is in line with your business and it's warranted by your operations. That's another thing. So another thing, what I have realized also in my years of consulting and coaching, is that there's a lot of people who don't do budgets. Budgets are the ones that can help you to manage your cash flow. If you don't have a budget in your business, you will not be able to manage the cash flow, because in your mind, you don't have anything that is planned. You don't even have you don't even know the costs that your business incurs.
Yeah.
You are just going from one day to another and spending as much as you can without knowing exactly where you are going. So budgeting is actually one thing I've seen that it's one critical area that we need to all as business owners and entrepreneurs to know, because when you have a budget, a clear budget to say, okay, every single month I have certain fixed expenses. My telephone, my internet, my hosting, my printing, my stationery, or whatever it is. So if it's there, it's outlined. My salary as well. If it's there, it is outlined. You have something that is leading you on how to spend your money. So you know exactly, okay, this month I got 50,000 rand, but my expenses, my fixed expenses are so much. Meaning in this month I will have a loss, I will struggle. But maybe the previous month you had gotten 100,000 and you had 40,000 extra, you carry it over to the next month. So, but what I'm trying to say is, without a budget, you cannot see that. You cannot have that picture in mind. You will be just spending as it comes, which is what is also affecting a lot of businesses in terms of cash flow. Because for a person to be able to budget and to be able to say, this is how much I need to save in my business, you should know exactly how much you need to spend in your business.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Budgeting, it's a very big topic. And I'm sure we're really gonna need another 1 hour of talking just on budgeting, on how can you budget? How can you do this? Because really, I am telling you, a lot of people struggle with their budget and they end up using both their personal money and their business money and the tithe on top of that. On top of that. And still the money is not gonna be enough as well, just because of. And they're even gonna go and borrow again, right? So that they can cover some of the things, just because of they slip along the way. They just lost it somehow. Yeah.
Because also not having a budget, that's what also causes people to incur certain expenses which were not planned for, because they don't know the money or they don't have. But if you have a budget, you'll be knowing that you have not even yet achieved your target for that is enough for your budget. So that as long as if your budget, even when you buy some capital items, like let's say you want to change your computer, you want whatever, it should be, the budget should allow you to do it. If the budget does not allow you to do it, then you don't need to do it. It's the same with your marketing budget. If you want to market, let's say on Facebook, or you want the Google ads or whatever, your budget should allow you to do that. If you don't have a budget, then that's a problem, because you have no basis to say, where am I making this decision based on? Because all your decisions should be based on the budget, on the available money in the business. It should also be based on how your cash flow is in the business. Because like me, I always encourage my clients, I always say, you know what? When you are doing things correctly now, I will expect you to have a cash flow of at least 2-3 months. I know it's very difficult, but when you have that discipline, it's possible. You can have a cash flow of saying, okay, I know my budget, my fixed expenses is 30,000. I need to save the money to get to at least 60, 90,000 in my account so that if anything happens, still my business is not gonna die. I have that money to carry forward in those dry months. Remember, business is not guaranteed. We cannot guarantee what's the position tomorrow. You see, like even with COVID now, all these are things that affect business. Business is affected by a lot of things: political, environmental, legal, social, technological effects. There's so much things that can happen. But if the business has got some cash flow, which is there, it can sustain itself even without any money. And then when it starts any money, the business will not die. You get what I mean?
Wow, wow, wow. Really, as I said, we need a lesson on budgeting. Budgeting is one thing that is a need out there. Really, because you cannot have a cash flow without budgeting, right?
Yeah.
Then you cannot pay yourself a salary without a budget. You cannot know that, okay, this is for rentals, this is for the car, this is for whatever, without a budget. So a budget is something that is a need. It's a need in a business. Wow. Thank you so much for bringing that up as well. Wow.
Yeah. So all these things, you don't need to scratch yourself and say, where am I going to get this and all that. That is why accountants are there. That is why we're trained there to save you. As a business, you cannot do everything on your own. You need people to do your marketing. You need people to do your accounting. You need people to coach you here and there. So that is what we need, why we need people trained in different businesses. So it becomes too overwhelming when you think about it on your own to say, how am I going to do this budget now? How am I going to do this? So this woman is telling me something. No, it's not as loud as you think. When we sit down together and we plan it together, we will do it, and it becomes so easy, and it also requires that discipline. Yes, we can do that. We offer that service. We do that at Ngo Accounting. I coach people to manage their finances, irregardless if you want accounting services or bookkeeping. You can actually do just to say, how can I come up with my budget? You can just consult on that. How can I come with my cash? How can I do this? May you please check my business, how it's doing? Where do I need to improve and all that? We save each other that way.
Wow, I can tell you one thing. You as a business owner, as an accountant, you are blessed because you are your business owner and you know how to handle your finances. But some of us, we are hustlers and we really don't have time even to just invoice somebody from the phone, right? An invoice application, it's in the phone, and you find someone, you can just say, okay, just give me a sec, you just invoice them from the phone. It's a 2-second thing. We don't have that time. Our time is about hustling. So how can that somebody is actually survive, yet you don't even need also to invest in accounting? You know, really you will die because there's nothing that you are doing. This is actually the time for you to start to invest in your account. And guess what? I love one thing, that's it. There is time for everything, right? Yes, you have been doing it wrong then, but you can still rectify it and carry forward, right? You can still rectify it and carry forward and start from there. Start somewhere, right? Yeah, you need just to start somewhere and move forward. Yeah, though the taxman is not gonna say, "I forgive in the time of unknown," as what the Bible says. The taxman is still gonna need what happened back there. But from now going forward, yeah, that's something. Well, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing this information with us. And guys, all of you who are there, I really encourage you to go and check it. Go there on go.co.za. We're also gonna put the link somewhere there, or even you can even go to bnc.mykajabi.com/go. You're still gonna get some of the incredible deals that are there. Thank you so much. Yeah, anything that you might still also need to add as well.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to add that as a business, for those who have registered business, I'm just giving advice as an accountant. I'm very worried about a lot of people who are so non-compliant. For those who are registered in South Africa with their businesses in South Africa, you should be aware of your SARS tax returns. Everyone who has got a company registered needs to do tax returns. Whether you are trading or not trading, SARS still expects you to do your annual tax returns and still need to do your provisional tax returns. We offer a service where we just check your compliance and we just tell you what you need to do without charging for it. So it's also another thing, because sometimes SARS can penalize you for not doing a return, not necessarily for the tax you need to pay. Just because you have not done a return, they can give you a penalty of any amount they want. So it is not really worth it. Like we, as a small business, as people who are also involved in a lot of these small businesses and the medium businesses, coaching and all that, I've seen that a lot of people are not aware of that. So if those who are listening to me now, you should be aware of that. SARS needs their tax returns. You are trading or you're not trading, you still need to do those returns. And also your CIPC returns needs to be done every year on your anniversary for your registration. You need to check your CIPC document and see when you registered your company, then you see your date. That date is when you need to do your CIPC annual returns. Yes, we can do it together. It's not a lot of work. When we do the books, when an accountant does your books, you'll be able to see your report properly. That is why I was also saying in the last webinar, you need to get the reports from your bookkeeper or your accountant so that you can see where you are coming from and where you are going. And you can also put your remedial actions and your plans with regards to your finances when you are seeing those numbers. Those numbers should not be just for doing it, but for the sake of your growth of your business and for you to plan your business going forward. And also, you know that in any given time you are compliant, it also helps. So yes, it's a cost that you don't need to say, I can't incur this cost. It's a cost that you really need to incur if you really need to grow your business, because you need to see where you're coming, where you are going. But I would like to thank you so much for attending and for inviting me and for spending time with me this afternoon. Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Thank you so very much. There's still one question. I don't know if I can just ask it. It's just gonna be a few minutes. Yeah, I know. It just came to me by the time you were talking. Of the bookkeeping, right? Should we keep slips of everything that we have done? Or should you wait for the bank statement and then I just draw the bank statement and work from the bank statement?
The bank statement, okay, let me clarify that properly.
Yes, yeah.
Number one, the bank statement, why as accountants we insist on you doing everything through the bank. Your money should come through the business bank account, your expenses should go through the business bank account. It's because of the trail. We want to see exactly what you're spent on. So even if you have lost a slip, you can know it's macro. I spent this money on macro, or I spent this money on game. Though yes, we need those invoices, because we cannot just rely on what what you say to say, okay, macro, I was buying stationery. There are certain where we need receipts to validate the transactions. There are some transactions which, yes, are immaterial. Then we really don't need like you to keep receipts. We can actually see them on the bank statement, on the bank trail. Let's say your airtime, I can easily pick this is airtime. I can easily pick this is what. Yes, but you need to keep your receipts, because your receipts are your proof of that expenditure. So the moment you start, when you teach yourself to do it, you'll find it's very easy. Whenever you buy, what I have told my clients is that you always need to have a folder in your car. Whenever you buy, you just put the slip in that folder, not in your handbag or whatever, because you lose. You put it in the folder there. When it's month end, you just put together your slips or whatever, you scan them, you keep them. You keep a folder where you put all your invoices on your computer, and also your bank statement. We also teach how to do record keeping and all these things also in Goho. I'll be very glad to offer a free consultation based on this record keeping and all that. I'll be very glad to teach you how to do the record keeping as well, because it's very important.
Wow. Oh, you have heard it all, guys. You have heard it all. So if your business is upside down, right? Yeah, we know that we need those upside down, but on a live line, on in the hospital. That's why we need to see those things, right? Yeah. So, so apart from that, if you really want to understand all of your accounting and all of your finances on how is it, because finances is the blood of the business, that's the health of the business, right? So if you are just running a business without any finance that's actually happening there, yeah, you might see money coming in and money going out, and then at the end of the month you wonder what happened, right? Because there's no money, and yet in the statement it's showing that there's 20,000 that came, but on the balance there is -5 or even -1,000, and you wonder what really happened there. So guys, I advise you to go. It's bnc.micahjabi.com/ngoho. Ngoho, it's NGOHO. So bnc.micahjabi.com/ngoho, or just go to ngoho.co.za, and you can get in touch with a free consultation, as you heard, and then also free bookkeeping, record keeping training as well. So yeah, we will see if we can actually bring it back again and see how best we can be able to help each other. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Sismiya. Stay well, guys, and don't forget to be inspired to inspire, right? Yes, yeah. So